Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing the fact that Leroy Sane has confirmed that he is leaving Manchester City. Well, he hasn't confirmed it, but news broke today that Leroy Sane is definitely going to be leaving to Bayern Munich. We already knew that he was leaving. Didn't know if it was going to be this summer or next year on a free though. And today the news came out that he is going to be going, and he's not going to be playing for City again, most likely. In today's video, I'm going to be going into depth about kind of what's happened, what the fears, and also 5 replacements Man City could sign to replace Leroy Sane on the left wing. Before we get into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're nearing that 10k mark. We're 250 subscribers away, so subscribing, it would be much appreciated. I haven't hit it before the end of the Premier League season, so yeah, like I said, all subscriptions are much appreciated. Anyway, talking about the Sane transfer again, Sane has gone for 49 million euros with an 11 million euro add-on clause later on, which means the total transfer fee will be around 55 million pounds. We've also supposedly, according to Samley, got a 10% sell-on clause, which who knows, it could be useful, could be irrelevant. If it goes like a Bayern, if it goes like a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, could definitely be useful. However, if he doesn't leave until he's like 31, 32, it'll be pretty irrelevant. News has also come out that it's likely we'll never see Sane again. He's meant to be heading off to Germany as of I think Thursday or Friday, so there's no way he can be featured as Liverpool, which is a shame because he's the only player we've really had in recent years that's given Trent Alexander-Arnold the runabout every single time. Munich have offered him 350 grand a week, something City just would never give any player. We were offering up to 170 grand, which is kind of why you can see why he's left, and also the opportunity to play for the biggest team in his homeland. It was clear for pretty much the whole season, even from August, that he was going to be leaving by the end of this season, but I did always hope that he was going to help us win the Champions League this year. I definitely thought he could have an impact. Even if he was leaving, he'd still, play his all, give it his all, try and help us win the Champions League for the first time, and leave on a high, but it's ended a bit sourly, I think. To be honest, I'd backed him all the way, and I'd said I think it's harsh for City fans to call him a snake and such for leaving us. I do think the way he's going about it is a bit wrong if he's not going to be playing for us again, because if he's under contract with us until the end of the season, I think it's wrong for him not to be playing for us. Although who knows, it could be Pep saying he just wants someone to feature that's not part of the squad. And in typical City fashion, it's almost certain that if we go on to beat Real Madrid in the second leg of the Champions League round of 16, we're going to get Bayern and they're going to knock us out. It's just typical. It's how City work. It's inevitable. In terms of the fee, the 49 million, which is soon to be rising to about 55 million, I think it's quite a good fee in all honesty. For someone that's just come off the back of a cruciate injury, only played about 10 minutes since that cruciate injury. Someone that's also only got 1 year left in their contract, and post-pandemic, now the market is going to crash completely. I think 50 million is a very, very decent fee. So I think Soriano and Khaldun have done us very, very nicely there. And who knows, hopefully that money will be reinvested into signing the likes of Ake, Koulibaly, and a replacement for Sane, obviously, which is a must now, because I think we've seen this year we do need another option going forward. So anyway, now we've gotten into the details of the transfer, I'm going to go through my 5 replacements for Leroy Sane. At number 1, this is in no particular order, I've got Leon Bailey. Talks are that if we would sign Leon Bailey, we could get sign him for around £40 million, which is very cheap. It's cheaper than what we've got Sane for, than what we're going to sell Sane for, so no complaints there. We'd have an extra 15 million in the bank to then put towards a centre back. He'd know Sterling, and he'd settle in fairly comfortably, you'd think. Already a traditional left winger, something we've really lacked this year. I know Sterling's been on the left, but I think he's much better on the right. Bernardo is a right winger, Mahrez is a right winger, Jesus can play on the left, so you kind of just relying on players that aren't left wingers to play left wing. Also, came out a few weeks ago that Pep had supposedly already displayed his project to Bailey, showing that he is clearly interested in the winger. Next on my list is Jayden Braaf, the young Dutch left winger. So obviously we all know Jayden Braaf, we've all wanted him to get some minutes so far this season. He arrived back on training on Monday with the first team, meaning that hopefully he'll be selected on the bench. Probably not for Liverpool because it's a big game, so he'll never feature, and he's only been in the squad for 4 days. But hopefully after that, and once we've secured Champions League football, we can start to see him play a bit more. I speak for all City fans when we say we do not want a Sancho 2.0 to happen with Jayden Braaf. Tipped very highly, likely to go to a very high stage. And so if we were to give him minutes, it would definitely stop him from wanting to leave, I think, because there's no reason for him to leave if we offer him the game time that he wants. Supposedly his attitude's not all that, which isn't ideal. Pep obviously doesn't like a guy with an attitude. But hopefully he can sort that out. He's obviously only 18, so there's still a long way for him to go in that sense. With no Sane, there's no reason that he can't be getting game time coming off the bench. We've got 7 Premier League games to go. He obviously won't feature against Liverpool, but against the likes of Newcastle, Brighton, Southampton, you'd say that he's definitely capable of making 20 minutes sub appearances in those games. Plus about getting him as well is, first of all, we say £50 million, which obviously is by no surprise a lot of money to be saving, and it could definitely be spent elsewhere. We also have these 7 Premier League games to test him, make sure he's ready, and he might not be ready, so he might not be a viable option, but we could see if he is ready, or at least ready to get a few minutes here and there next season, so that we don't need to go out and spend a big money on a new left winger, maybe just a short-term replacement. Moving on, next we have the man I was just speaking about, Jadon Sancho of Borussia Dortmund. Again, another one I think City fans would absolutely love Jadon Sancho to return. One negative of Sancho returning, however, is that he's a right winger traditionally. I know Sterling, I guess, isn't. He has played well on the left, but again, like I said, I think Sterling's better on the right, and I think we might see a similar case with Jadon Sancho. But if he was on the left, I guess you can't complain. If he's on the right, again, he's going to be effective regardless. United came out recently and said that they were not willing to pay more than £50 million for Sancho, and so you guess that he's probably going to be valued around 60 to 70 million. But for someone that young and that good, I would personally say pay £70 million. It's 15 million more than we've got for Sané. But this is for someone who's not got 1 year on their contract, not suffered a serious injury. And Sanchez, I think he's got a few years on Sané as well. So I think it's a must if we could get him for that kind of price. I get the impression Dortmund are probably willing to sell. I think they are open to the idea of getting rid of Sancho this year. They might try and keep hold of him for another year, but if the offer is there, then I think they'll definitely accept it. Obviously, if they get an offer and they accept it, we just have to match the offer, and then we get the accepted bid because of we sold him to them, and that's what was agreed. So we have that upper hand on Sancho as well. It would also prevent Chelsea, I don't think Chelsea's going to sign him anymore, but it would prevent Chelsea and Man United strengthening their squads, and instead it'd be strengthening our squads. So that's another major positive of the signing of Sancho. He also worked under Pep, he's friends with Sterling, so he'd fit in easily. He's got old friends there. He was in the youth system with Foden. He'd fit in comfortably. And then as that, he has the young, homegrown quota with him, so there's no complaints there, and he's definitely comfortable of filling Leroy's boots quality-wise. Next on my list is Aston Villa's Jack Grealish. Personally, not keen on the idea of this. Where I live, there's a lot of Aston Villa fans, and they hype him up a hell of a lot, and I personally think he is overrated. I wouldn't complain if he joined City, but I'd rather he didn't. He's recently been linked with a move to Manchester, whether that's to Manchester United or Manchester City. He'd definitely be cheaper than what we got for Leroy, especially if Villa go down. His price is going to plummet because Villa can't afford to try and charge high prices, much like Ake with Bournemouth. If they go down, the prices of the players are going to drop massively. If Villa go down, there's no way he's going to be comfortable just staying at Villa and just he's too good for the Championship is what I'm trying to say. Although I think he's overrated, he's easily a top 6 Premier League player. And as much as I do think he's overrated, he does have good footwork and he works hard. You cannot complain about his work rate. He works very hard for that Villa team, and it's the only reason why they've not been relegated so far. Another criticism I would have of him is I think he goes down too easily. But I guess Sterling was the same when we signed him off Liverpool, and I guess Pep can just iron out problems like that. Final issue with him is he's more of a central player, not really a winger, similar to a Foden type player, so I'd be scared if we signed him that potentially Foden's game time could drop off a little bit. Now moving on to the final player, this one is, in my opinion, there's no chance of it happening, but I thought I'd put him in there because, I mean, you never know, it's kind of the dream. If you could get Mbappe, you'd get Mbappe. So yeah, Mbappe is who I've got in my 5th replacement for Leroy Sane. Obviously, comfortably would replace him. There'd be no issues there. Just the slight issue of his price. Obviously going to cost more than 100 million. And post-pandemic, it's not realistic to think we're going to spend that. It's also not very City-like to spend big money like that. It'd be a huge statement, and I'm confident we'd win the league if we sign Mbappe. But like I said, there is literally no chance of this happening. Unless FFP was to just get rid of it for 12 months because of the COVID-19. But yeah, like I said, there's no chance of that happening, as great as it would be. Anyway, that is all for today's video. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Who do you want us to sign to replace Leroy Sane? And are you sad that Leroy is leaving? Leave it in the comments down below. But yeah, like I said, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I will be doing a preview of the Liverpool game tomorrow. I'll be back with them. I know I've not been doing them recently, but yeah, I just haven't really got around to it, and I've just been taking a bit of a break. But anyway, that's all for me today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with the Liverpool preview. Goodbye.